This is the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. And guess what? You just heard Willie Van doing A Lake Called Danger, Ryan Gillis, The End to Me, and starting out that block was Randy Noonan, Skydiver. So it reminds me of that Sky Pilot, the old song by Eric Burden, right? It's Skydiver's an excellent tune by Randy Noonan out of Hampton, Connecticut. His vocals actually remind me of vocals of a good friend of ours who's played at the Valley Music Showcase before, Steve Rogers, which is a compliment because Steve has got a really excellent voice. And anyway, I really enjoyed that tune and his lyrics too. Some of it's the whole concept of I just jumped off a plane for the first time. What an image that is, It's just the whole song is sort of, something that you can really get into.
Yeah, I think just one thing about his voice real quick. Randy's voice always reminds me a little bit of Phil Collins. If you just hear something, and then it there's something about just the sound of his, oral cavity or whatever it is that makes him sound like Phil Collins. But
it's funny you say that because I was thinking a little bit like Peter Gabriel.
Yeah, right. Well, they sound like each other too. I like that song a lot. It has. I actually play guitar on that, and as I recall, it's an open tuning, which is pretty obvious if you listen to it. And guitar is in an open tuning, which sort of lends itself to the imagery. The rolling drums throughout the whole thing, I think, are pretty cool. Yeah, it's sort of an unusual piece outside of Randy's sort of normal wheelhouse, and I really like this one. It was a lot of fun.
And Randy's also the drummer for your Fleming Jenkins band.
He is indeed, Randy, since I was 5 years old, and we still play music together. 45 years later. So
after that, we had a tune by Ryan Gillis, "The End to Me." Ryan is out of Ansonia, Connecticut. Yeah, Max, are you in this tune as well?
Yeah, I did all of the the drums and the bass and the keys. Ryan did all the vocals, obviously, and then my good friend Matt did all the guitar you hear and stuff in it.
Very smooth R&B, kind of reminded me a little bit like Babyface in that era. Mm-hmm. Is Ryan going to be releasing this soon?
Funny story. When we made this track, he was really excited about this artist called Rennie, and he's like, "Oh, we got to do a song like this artist, So I spent quite a few hours putting together a track, and my friend Matt did the guitars, and then Ryan came on and sang, and we tried to do all these harmonies and stuff like that. And then Ryan just completely lost steam on it. He's like, I don't like how I sound. I don't like this. I don't like that. I'm like Ryan. So we're never going to release this. So I don't know if we'll ever release it, but I did get his consent to put it on the radio.
I hope he does release it. It's very good.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell him, but he's like, "Oh, I hate my voice." I'm like, Ryan, it's great. I got to get it into his head. He needs to release this. I think it's a fun song.
Well, you did a great mix on it. I'll tell you that. Anyway, I totally agree. Get that song out there. So the last tune of that block was Willie Van's "A Lake Called Danger." Willie's also out of Bethany, Connecticut. And Michael, you wrote this song, right?
Yes, I did. Come here. I usually come here I don't know, maybe a late Sunday when no one's around or something like that. And I just kind of get into the zone. But I was just thinking about we got those radioactive lakes or, those really acidic lakes in Russia or something like that. That looks beautiful. Mm-hmm. That you want to dip your toe in, but it's if you're die, type of thing. So it's kind of that song kind of reminds me of a little bit of stuff like that. It's got this pretty allure and everything like that, but
don't dip your toe in it.
Yeah, but don't dip your.
This song's not released yet either, right?
No, that's we're kind of working on an album right now. So that song is pretty much mastered, ready to go. It's got all the all the metadata ready to go up there. But yeah, we still have a little bit to go on there. I think I'm probably going to get a couple more songs before we start releasing them. But yeah,
this would be great as a score to a big major film.
And that's kind of it. Yeah. So I don't know. I run the gamut when I start writing stuff. I'm a saxophone player by, I don't want to say trade because that's not really trade, but I don't know. I went to school for music, but that was my concentration. But I don't know, I tend to go all over the place at times, get a little more ethereal at times like this one is. And
the piano really drives this song. That's Willie Van on the piano, right?
Yeah. So he does some pretty cool stuff.
And that little sampling that you did in the middle of it, the Tuvin throat singing, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, like I said, those some of my favorite instruments that I use to do some of these compositions. They have like some really cool sounds in them, and they just allow me to, like I said, go different places where you normally wouldn't.
I've often thought of myself, gee, wouldn't it be great to learn to be a Tuvin throat singer?
Yeah.
Takes a lot of practice.
Yeah. A lot of throat lozenges, I guess.
Yeah, right. Exactly. A lot of lozenges. All right. Well, we've got one more tune for you guys. It Came in Waves doing Fall into Decay.